Hello there, and welcome to the first episode of The Religious Lens, the show that analyzes movies from an LDS member's perspective. The views and opinions expressed on this channel are solely those of its creator and is in no way affiliated with nor a representation of the LDS Church, the films, nor film creators. Today, we will be taking a look at Doctor Strange, which may result in some spoilers ahead. There are many gospel principles that can be pulled from other Marvel movies because every superhero movie deals with a sense of good versus evil. But what makes Doctor Strange stand out above other Marvel films is that rather than addressing the concrete lines between good and evil, it presents an accurate spectrum of what the fight against evil really looks like. If you were to take a look at Captain America: The First Avenger, it is blatantly obvious that Steve Rogers' personality is a beacon of good character, and that Red Skull is of course an evil villain. The same could be said about Caecilius and his evil presence.
Look at your face.
However, it is his belief behind his actions that give his character more complexity.
The world is not what it ought to be. Humanity longs for the eternal, for a world beyond time, because time is what enslaves us. Time is an insult. Death is an insult.
Let's compare the sanctums and their teachings of the mystic arts to the church and the gospel principles.
Yeah, that sounds like a cult.
It's not a cult.
Well, that's what a cultist would say.
Oh, no.
If we were to draw a scale, one end would be disobeying all commandments, and the other end would of course be to follow them. Caecilius has abandoned his teachings in search of another path like many members have within the church. That is not to say that any of those members are bad people. One could argue that Caecilius is still a good man and his intentions could be seen as noble.
We don't seek to rule this world. We seek to save it.
Though as noble as his intentions may be, his methods are certainly misconstrued. Caecilius would belong on this end as one who has completely abandoned all teachings of the church. On the other end of the scale is Caecilius' polar opposite, which in my opinion is not Doctor Strange, but rather Mordo. Mordo has fully committed himself to Camartage and the Sorcerer Supreme.
Trust your teacher. And don't lose your way.
Mordo follows the rules to a T without question. He has faith, which is always important in the church, as faith is defined as a hope for things which are not seen, which are true. The church is run by faith, but without a firm understanding, this can be problematic. Mordo's character begins to take a churn as he faces his conflicting feelings towards the Ancient One and her usage of the Dark Dimension's power, which was earlier stated as forbidden.
She taught us it was forbidden, while she drew on its power to steal centuries of life. She did what she thought was right.
Mordo's main problem was that he followed blindly. He had built no understanding of the laws on his own, which caused him to misjudge the Ancient One and even Doctor Strange, despite the fact that Strange saved the world. Mordo's extreme commitment even led to harming others in the post-credit scene. Doctor Strange portrays a sense of balance between the two. The fight against evil is not a war on one front. Satan can manipulate both sides of any spectrum of any principle, and the safest spot we can be is balanced in the middle. Doctor Strange wasn't afraid to ask questions and discover answers like Caecilius, but he kept the faith of what is right like Mordo. This is how we should be as members. Despite common belief about the church, there is no brainwashing involved. We are encouraged to ask questions, and like Camartage, no knowledge is restrained. If any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of God, that giveth to all men liberally, and upbraideth not.
No knowledge in Camartage is forbidden, only certain practices.
The important thing is that we maintain our balance. Caecilius, Mordo, and Strange all came to Camartage for the same reason: to be healed. Yet the outcome of each character is drastically different. As I continue the scripture in James, let him ask in faith, nothing wavering, for he that wavereth is like a wave of the sea driven with the wind and tossed. Mordo had faith without an understanding, and Caecilius had an understanding without faith. Stephen Strange goes through quite the humbling transformation from being an arrogant neurosurgeon to one of the most powerful entities in the Marvel Universe. I would say that his first sign of humility stemmed from the moment he talked to a previous patient he rejected. From that moment, Strange's growth as a person begins as he travels to Camartage and studies the mystic arts. Strange proves himself to be a naturally gifted pupil, yet despite his gifts, he rejects the responsibility of protecting the world.
I came here to heal my hands, not to fight in some mystical war.
Coming fresh out of high school, a lot of youth may feel the same way about a mission. that giving up 1.5 to 2 years of your life is a lot to ask, and that you just want to continue your regular life. And the perfect response to this couldn't be put any more simpler than in this scene.
Arrogance and fear still keep you from learning the simplest and most significant lesson of all.
Which is?
It's not about you.
It is not about you. You have been blessed with the knowledge of truth, and it is your responsibility to share that message with others. I unfortunately have not had the privilege of serving a mission, but even as a member of the church, it is important that we share our testimonies to others, and that we prayerfully seek missionary opportunities. In Gordon B. Hinckley's Teachings of the Presidents, he says the thing which we call testimony is the great strength of the church. It is the wellspring of faith and activity. It is as real and powerful as any force on earth. If we retrace the path of Dr. Strange and what led him to Kamar-Taj, it is as follows. His physical therapist testified of what he knew in terms of healing and states a miracle he witnessed before.
Have you ever known anyone with nerve damage this severe to do this and actually recover?
One guy, yeah. Factory accident, broke his back, paralyzed. His leg wasted away. He had pain in his shoulder from the wheelchair. He came in 3 times a week, and then one day stopped coming. Thought he was dead. A few years later, he walked past me on the street.
Strange visits this miracle himself, at which point the man testifies to him of a place that has helped him heal.
I found my teacher, and my mind was elevated, and my spirit deepened, and somehow...
Your body healed.
Yes.
Dr. Strange travels to this place, which he then was able to build a testimony of his own as he witnessed the mystical arts. And from those experiences came a guardian of the world. We must never underestimate the power of simply sharing your testimony with others. Thank you so much for watching the very first episode of The Religious Lens. I plan on releasing an episode every other week, so if you like this video, follow this page, and stay tuned for the next movie I analyze.